Thank you for joining us. You know, we've all been working for years, maybe even decades, but when do you know if you've saved enough to go ahead and retire? I'm here with financial advisor Robb Rothrock. He's the founder of Rothrock Financial Group. I'm Spike Spangle. Robb, thank you so much for letting me join you on your video series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, yeah.
This is a really big question today. When do you know if somebody has saved enough to go ahead and retire?
No, it's a good question, and it's an arbitrary question too, because the answer is there's no real answer. And what I mean by that is that, you know, I've got clients that have retired perfectly happy on, you know, $500,000 or $600,000, and others that feel like $1.5 or $2 million is not enough. So really comes down to several factors, one of which is their spending habits. I mean, everybody has a different number for what they're going to need. That's the first thing. And really, how do you know if you have saved enough? I think that's why it's important to do a plan. So the people that tend to have done a plan maybe earlier on have a better sense for what their number is, and the ones that haven't tend to not have as good of an idea. So that's why we encourage people, even if you're maybe years away, starting the planning process, even if you don't act on it, at least having a plan is better than just hoping it's going to work out.
I really appreciate you said that, because a lot of us have to what is known as self-direct. We're saving on our own in 401ks, and sometimes there's a little digital monitor in there that we can say, oh, have I saved enough, or what are we doing, am I on track, or these online calculators. But I don't want people just waiting until the year they want to retire and showing up at your office and go, how'd I do?
Right.
Can I go ahead and retire? So how soon do you like to start talking to folks?
I mean, that again, the sooner the better, because it's kind of like planting a tree. When was the best time to plant a tree? The old adage, well, it's 20 years ago. Yeah. And the second best time is right now. And there's kind of people get caught up into the growth of their assets, but maybe they don't think as much about how does this turn into income. But there's really unless your name is Elon Musk, there's very few people on this planet that aren't going to need income for the rest of their lives. So how does this pile of savings turn into income? That's really what matters more. And believe it or not, the sooner that you start that planning process, you can plan for future income. And the longer runway you give yourself, sometimes the more that income can be. But it's also important to know, some people are very dialed in with their budget and have everything to the penny what they spend on a spreadsheet, and other people really aren't. And so there's a wide variety. The ones that are tend to be a little bit, they have a better idea of what their number is going to be. And what I mean is you want to know how much guaranteed income source, what are your guaranteed income sources going to be? So that's the first thing. How much is your Social Security going to be? Do you have a pension? How much will that be? And maybe somebody already has an annuity. What is that? How much is that? And then how much do you need on top of that? How much income do you need your investments to generate? So there's a gap there for most people, what we call an income gap. So identifying what that gap is, we have to have a general idea of what they're going to need. So once we know that gap, then we can determine how much income we need their investments to generate. And then we can start backing into what is that, how much money do they need? And sometimes people need to work longer than they think. Sometimes the reality is, I don't have enough. And if that's the case, it's good to find out now and not when you're already retired.
Yeah. I know how I did with algebra in college, and I know it's all about having the right inputs. And I would bet sometimes that some of those inputs that you just mentioned are left off when folks are doing it on their own. You do retirement planning all the time.
Yes.
What are some of those inputs that create that gap? Is it inflation? Is it not realizing how much you're going to pay in taxes? Is it sometimes those healthcare costs?
All of the above. It's all of the above. People understand inflation, but sometimes they don't put two and two together. The fact is 20, 25 years from now, things will very likely cost double what they cost now. And that's a real thing. So we have to factor in inflation so you don't get a nasty surprise when it's too late to do something about it. So inflation's part of it. Longevity. We don't know how long we're going to live. And I wouldn't be doing anybody a service to plan for too short of a lifespan. So we like to plan for a long lifespan versus planning for too short of a lifespan, and then somebody's run out of money. So we don't ever want to see that. So healthcare, we don't know when our health's going to change. If we had a crystal ball, we knew that, but we don't. So we have to have a plan for that, and that might include long-term care planning. It might include Medicare planning, and all those things also tend to go up in time. So knowing what guaranteed sources of income you have, factoring those in so that we can take their savings and generate additional income to fill those gaps and account for all those factors is really important. And it sounds complicated, but we can actually do that in one meeting for most people.
Fantastic. Well, Rob, thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to know what your income plan for retirement could look like, call the phone number right now on the bottom of the screen. You can meet with the team here of the Rothrock Financial Group and Rob himself. Dial that phone number, or if you want to, you can go to the website right here and schedule your own time at rothrockfg.com. Thanks for watching.